Hey everyone, this is Nitro. So I haven't done my Nitro setup video today, so I'm just going to be doing it now in the evening instead. So this video, as always, is going to cover my usual, changes to my party over the past week, although I'll mention a few other additions near the end of this video. Okay, just to answer some questions that were asked by some of my viewers. So, first things first, as always, I'm going to be covering the equipment farm results and the crystal voucher status. So I have that on the screen right now, and last week I started the week with 16 vouchers and 5,646 crystals. I currently have 5 vouchers and 5,714 crystals, which is actually a decrease in vouchers and a very minor increase in crystals. But the thing was, I did 70 draws on the equipment banner last week. So the actual increase is effectively 69 vouchers and 68 crystals, which is actually a huge increase. Okay, so I clearly had earned a lot of crystals over the past week, converted them into vouchers, and then did the draws, right? On screen it says I have the daily discount gift pack, right? I used to have the summon gift pack as well, which gave me 2 extra vouchers every day, but I've run out of money to keep purchasing that one. So now I'm just down to the daily discount gift pack, which is 150 crystals per day. Okay. Well, I mean, right now, this whole month though, the voucher increase and crystal increase is not really accurate because I have the Echoes of Light, or will have an Echoes of Light for this month, right? So this is not a normal situation at all, in other words. Moving on, the equipment farming results of last week was basically 10 SSR items from dragon farming and from joint battles and from the world events. Okay. There were of course other SSRs added, especially via the event. For example, in the Lodos War event, I got every single equipment from it now, and those were the Blue Moon, Carbon Fiber Helmet, Death's Robe, and a Holy Grail. Okay. Of those 4, I only kept one, the Blue Moon. I also ended up doing 2 weapon gambles last week in an attempt to try to get a new weapon. Did not turn out very well. Nighthawk and Ulver Staff. It was really a waste of memory essence. It is what it is. And other than that, the Age of Innovation banner, I ended up with 70 draws in total, and it gave me 1 Twilight Star, 2 Witch's Reminiscence, 1 Scarlet Reaper, and 100 ore. Off from an off banner, I think it was a Dark Reaper. Right? So those are all the results from, events. Moving further down, from the weekly events now, right? Last week, Timeless Trial gave me an Eye of the Beholder. This would theoretically let me get a second Eye of the Beholder to level 40. I have 3 of them in my bag right now. So if I use them to build up another accessory, it would be a level 40 accessory. But I don't really have the gold to build it up, so they'll just sit in my bag for a while. I may even convert them to ore eventually. We'll see. The weapon gambles last week were done on video with the summoning video, I believe, and I got a Giant's Resolve and a Cloak of Defiance. Everything else was turned back into ore. Neither item is really that good for me right now, but I'll keep them. You never know when I might need, let's say, the Giant's Resolve in particular. As for the farming of dailies and joint battles and world map events, last week there were 10. Not a single one was kept, so that was 1,000 ore. Right? Last night, Nighthawk, Tiara, Najor's Feathered Crown. I don't need the Najor's Feathered Crown because I already have 2 at level 50. I got an Assault Headgear, a Twilight Headgear, a Gaia's Armor, an Aes's Helmet, and 2 Broken Stars. I actually also did 7 random accessory box purchases last week. That's like 2,100 honor points. Didn't get a single SSR out of those. So it was kind of disappointing. So that's it for the equipment of last week and crystal and voucher status. So let's jump back into the game now at this point to talk about some stuff with my account. Okay, so with my account, first of all, money spent, right? I am currently now at $227 out of 278. So I'm steadily inching towards 278. I'm definitely gonna hit it. There's no doubt. This week, in terms of purchases, I'm going to make my purchases on Wednesday, right? And that will be in 2 days. So Wednesday the 27th. And that will likely let me hit get very, very close to 278. What I'm thinking of doing is that first, I'm going to renew the daily discount gift pack, of course, right? And second, I'm very likely to purchase the skin voucher pack twice. Because I think I really do want those extra skin vouchers. That'll set me up to purchase skins in the future. That's simple, right? There seems to be quite a few skins being released during Season 4 of Apex Arena, so like the next 4 months or so. And thus, I want as many skin vouchers as I possibly can get. So I'm going to probably purchase this one twice. You know, a pretty decent balance of crystals and skin vouchers overall. It's not amazing, but for my purposes, I guess it makes sense, right? It's effectively, I'm going to spend $40 for a little bit less, well, let's say 1.5 times the skin vouchers here with a lot of crystals. So it balances out overall. At least that's what I feel. And other than that, what else am I looking at? Let's see. So in terms of the event, well, I'm very close to completion on the event now. 82,800 points. The maximum is 90,000 points. So I just need to get some extra gold and Trinity crystals. That's all that's left for me. Right. And of course, the event, I've cleared challenge battle number 4 today. So there's just challenge battle number 5. So I'll have the event done this week for sure, even though the event actually ends next week. Next Wednesday is when it ends. Alright, so shard farming continues to be pretty much the exact same. I continue to do Deedlit, I continue to do Yusuke, and I continue to grind up Hiei. Okay, that won't change for a while until one of these characters is complete. The only expectation I have is that I believe, no guarantees, but I believe we're going to get 18 Gates of Fate soon, right? So I'm hoping either this week or next week we should get 18 Gates of Fate, and that'll really help me. We'll see when it happens, right? There has to be an 18 Gates of Fate event soon. Has to be. We haven't had one for a very, very long time. But as I said in previous videos, I think the reason why it's been delayed is because Apex Arena is running, right? The playoffs. And they want for the playoffs to pretty much be over before they run an event like that. So they don't want the playoffs to be affected by 18 Gate of Fates. Alright. So now I am going to be doing my weapon gambles, equipment gambles I should say. So for weapon, I just want a Mimir's War Axe and an Eller's Bow. That's the only two I really want. Last Night is garbage. Nighthawk is garbage. Nighthawk is garbage. Come on. Armor wise, I just want Last Rites, I think. And also Aeolus's battle armor would be nice to get. Let's see. Twilight armor is garbage. Mirror armor is garbage for me. Galaxy cloak I'll keep. So one item I'll keep, mediocre, but I'll keep it. And headgear wise, what I want is Tenyo's headdress. I think that's literally the only one I want now. Loki's mask. Loki's mask, come on. Carbon fiber. So 9 gambles, I got 1 useful item out of it. You know, this is so not paying off. But when it does pay off, it's so huge that you cannot afford not to gamble. So it is what it is. So I'm just going to convert those items into ore. Well, let's lock this one. I could save up 5 flails for use. But yeah. So, lots of ore to be converted. Very disappointing, but that seems to be the case for me every single week. I'm actually not surprised anymore. So at least this Galaxy Cloak, which has a pretty darn good enchant with 10% hit points, 2% int, and 9% magic defense, is going to now be level 40. So let's get rid of the armor, which is the mirror armor. And the other armor is the Twilight armor here. And then it's last night, Nighthawk, and Nighthawk to get some ore back. Right. So I'm gonna have to try to get SSRs to replace some ore so that I can purchase the 25 SSR scrolls from this section, right? The rare enchant gift packs. You know, the more ore I get, you know, maybe I can purchase some epic martial spirits as well. We'll see. Alright, so let's move on. And in terms of memory shards, right, I've been extracting memory shards during those summoning videos, or trying to. So there's no memory shards right now, and the next thing to really cover would be any gear and enchant changes. And I don't know, I'm looking at maybe doing a video on my party to update it. I don't know, it's kind of difficult. One thing I do want to change is my Langrisser's mirror armor, because mirror armor is actually great for PvE content, especially for like timeless trials, where there's the time law of, let's say, you know, as long as the enemy is at 100% hit points, they hit you with like 1.5 times damage or whatever, right? There's those time laws. Mirror armor actually breaks that. So it's actually a great armor for Landius in timeless trials. But it's actually not that great for PvP. So I'm going to want to replace the mirror armor with either a Bloodline Magic armor or a Ulysses Battle armor, one or the other. I'm thinking probably Bloodline, because it triggers against melee attacks and you get hit by melee characters quite a bit, right? But once again, you know, Aeolus's battle armor can work very well too, right? Reducing damage from magic attacks and whatnot. So we'll see. Looking to change that. So that needs, you know, either a new enchant or epic martial spirits to upgrade stuff. So I'm actually quite short on epic martial spirits because I've been focusing on purchasing enchants. But as a result, you can see I have lots of gear that's currently at level 20. You know, definitely will build the Twilight Star, but that's 3. Definitely will build the Scarlet Reaper, but that's 3. You know, I have a whole bunch of unleveled Furies of Tyr right now, and I have a bunch of helmets that I need to level up to. So epic martial spirits is actually currently my biggest limitation. We'll see what happens there. There's a whole bunch of gear that I'm likely going to break down, especially the accessories. Like for example, you know, I've been holding on to those 3 Eye of the Beholders that I mentioned. I'll probably break these ones down because I don't need that many int increasing enchants, and this would help me more overall. So stuff like that. So I'll be breaking up various stuff for more ore, maybe to get epic martial spirits instead. And other than that, one question that I was asked is about power, especially total power stat, right? Why some people have such high stats and other people don't. Well, one thing that really needs to be mentioned is that hit points are over-exaggerated with the power rating, okay? So if someone actually enchanted for maximum hit points, like absolute maximum hit points, and by that I mean, let's just bring up Bozo's gear. Let's say you got a 10% hit point enchant here, 15% hit point enchant there, 15% hit point enchant here, and then 10% here. So you're looking at 30 plus 10 plus 10, that's 50% additional hit points. If you just went for pure hit points and completely ignored magic defense on Bozo, he would have a higher power rating than if you focus purely on magic defense, for example. So power, in other words, does not accurately represent how good your character is, okay? The other thing about this is your training ground, how upgraded your soldiers are, has a huge effect on your power too, okay? my characters tend to be significantly lower than a lot of other people because my training ground sucks by comparison. For example, if you had a 60, 60, 60, or sorry, if you had a 70 fully upgraded training ground here, like 70, 70, 70, 70, you'd have a very, very powerful Bozo, much more powerful than mine is, right? So mine, for example, mine is currently at 8,057 power. If I click on the ranking list to take a look, right, other people have Bozos at 8695 and so on. So that's just like a difference in power, and I think a huge part of that is coming from the training ground. Okay. Finally, it should also be mentioned that skills have a pretty big effect on power too, right? With these skills, the faction buff, the black hole, and the earthquake, my Bozo is currently over 8,000, 8057. Let's just remove Dark Waltz and bring Seal. Okay. Suddenly, I've dropped to 7907. Okay. And as an example of like the power thing that I mentioned, why don't I change Bozo to, let's say, level 5 Crystal Warlocks rather than the level 10 soldiers, the level 10 sorceresses. Look at that. Power dropped to 7537. You know? If I bring the Stone Colossus, Lancers, because Lancers is one of my worst training grounds, 7288. So you can see soldiers, depending on whether they're level 5 or level 10 and so on, has a massive impact on your power. So, you know, just things that I thought I would mention, because the power rating, as I said, is not necessarily an accurate representative of just how strong your hero actually is. Alright, so other than that, I should probably mention any changes to my training ground, and honestly, there really hasn't been. I think I might have done a few upgrades to the cavalry training ground or something. I actually have no recollection of doing any real upgrades right now. I'm just saving up resources, that's really it. I think the one upgrade would have been Holy is now at 66. So, you know, Flyers at 66, Cavalry's at 66, Holy's at 66, only Archer and Assassin is at 70. But the fact that I have 4 training grounds pretty much at maximum attack is a source of happiness for me. Even though I don't really have very good, you know, hit point defense, match defense increases, still, this is okay. Right? The next thing would be do infantry and lancer, maybe. I don't know. We'll see about that. I certainly cannot imitate what people have been doing in the Apex playoffs, that's for sure. And I don't think I'll be able to implement it anytime soon either. Keep in mind that I only have 4 at level 70, right? In order to have more at level 70, you would be, you know, defense and match defense would be 1, hit points would be another, to actually have a decent training ground. So that's actually, you know, you have to have 3 of them all at level 70. And I don't even have 3 at level 70 at this time, right? There's some at level 66, but that's not 70. So me having like a fully upgraded training ground is like a figment of my imagination, I think. It's just not going to happen. Alright, so let's move on with regards to that. Let's see. SR status. There's just not much left with regards to SR. It's really just, I mean, even Alfred is now at 6 stars, so really the only character I have that you would have to grind would be Serena, which needs 2 copies, right? Everyone else, like Kuwabara, you know, Pyrotes, Parn, all these characters, I'm not going to grind them. They'll just sit at their current star level. If the event reruns, great, I'll upgrade them then. If their event doesn't rerun, well, I'm not using these characters anyways. So, too many SSRs to grind, and I'm going to completely neglect those SRs as a result of that. Right? Oh, another interesting thing I should mention is actually about Claret and Zerda. You know, I didn't go into great detail about this in the Should You Summon video, so I thought I would mention it now. If you have, on a 2-hero banner, okay, like for example, like the Zerda Claret banner, if you have one of the heroes at 6 stars, this is actually effectively a single character banner, right? Because of the exchange effect. Exchange grants you 1 extra spacetime essence whenever heroes are at 6 stars. And that spacetime essence will allow you to exchange 50 shards of one hero for 50 shards of the other hero. You can redeem it twice. In other words, if you summon on this banner, if I get Zerda, I can convert the 50 shards into Claret. If I get Claret, I already have 50 shards of Claret, right? And you can just keep drawing on this until you get 2 copies of, let's say, Zerida, in my case. So it could be anywhere from 2 to 4, or even more, copies of Clarets if I keep drawing on this banner. So just an interesting point. I just thought I would mention it because theoretically, I could keep drawing on this banner and rapidly raise up Claret's star level, right? So 1 copy would be 4 stars, 2 more copies, so that would be 3 copies, would be a 5-star Claret. You know? And then at that point, I will need 135 more shards. So just an interesting point about these 2 hero banners, assuming you have one of them at 6 stars and you're willing to exchange. It just opens up quite a bit of flexibility with regards to saving up and potentially getting a hero up to max star level very quickly. Of course, definitely benefits people who put money into the game, but it is what it is. That's the case for most things, right? And that's pretty much everything I want to say in this particular video. You know, I'm looking at maybe doing a video about my characters again, but I can't guarantee that because it requires so much time. My estimate is I would need around 8 hours, if not more, to go over all the heroes that I use. Not just my Apex 21 characters, but everyone, right? Everyone that I use. Characters that I use but aren't in the Apex 21, for example, include Ledin, include Bernhard, right? Include Leon. So if I have to go over all my characters, it's a pretty extreme list. You know, Narm, Oldermuller, Matthew, Hein, Sonya, Varna, Freya, even Sophia, right? Cherie, I've actually used Cherie in a few battles lately. So the list goes on and on. It comes all the way to, I think, Gizerov here, right? So that's, let's say 6, 10, 14, 18, 22, 26, 30, 34, 38 heroes to cover, right? And that's, yeah, 38 heroes. And then maybe I would even have to talk about Olivier, right? 39, because I use him for Timeless Trials and so on. Almeda, 40? Like, Lefini, 41? You know, the list just keeps going on. The list of heroes I use keeps growing. That's pretty much it. So I don't know if I'm going to cover that. If there are particular heroes you're interested in, let me know in the video comments. Maybe I'll write that down and then I can go over those particular heroes. Like individual heroes, going over them is okay, but going over all my heroes is a real struggle. Right? And that's all I want to say. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you found this video kind of interesting and useful to you. Yeah, not too much has changed this past week. The main thing has been with regards to bonds, really, right? I've been trying to get more and more heroes up to 100% bonds. So right now I've leveled up pretty much all the heroes I plan to use for Apex, with Leon and with Ledin mixed in with a few upgrades, I think. But currently I think it goes up to Liana in terms of the upgrades. So there's these four, these four, these four, that's 12, 16, 20, wait, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. Yeah, so currently there's 20 heroes that have been upgraded for potential Apex use, right? And then likely Gizerov and Hiei would be 21 and 22. And then maybe Chloe would be 23, right there. Right? And then after that, there's the whole bunch of additional heroes that I use. I mean, likely need upgrades, but those are much lower priority as a result. So it's, God, I need more gold. It's always a demand for gold, isn't it? And actually, not just gold. I actually also need more keys. By that, I mean the Bursting Heart keys. Let me see. I'm just going to jump into a character that I currently don't have at 100% yet. Let's see. Because Bursting Heart keys, every single upgrade is using up 10. I'm now down to 80, so I can do 8 more upgrades and I'm out of keys. So it's trouble. It's a lot of trouble. So I'm gonna have to, what I've done is I've been consistently using Thinker's Stamina in Secret Realm, so I get 2 keys every day. But most likely I am going to have to continue to do the Wednesday and Thursday joint battle again. I've been skipping that joint battle because I didn't think I would need so many keys, but clearly that is not the case. Gonna have to go back to grinding keys. And yeah, so now that is everything I want to say, and I'm gonna end this video here. Thanks for watching, everyone. Nitro out.